That's my fight, punk! Oh, you want something too, old man? Huh? What you got on my 40, homie?
I thought you had $200.
I do. But I won't spend Red's money.
Good evening. Can I get a slipper, sir?
No, but you can get the hell out. And you can give your little brother back his shirt.
Excuse me.
Give me a little time to acclimate myself.
Applegate? Yeah, that's like a school word. You know, I don't like school words. I can't applegate myself to them.
Pay attention, fat boy. It's canine trouble. You got it?
When you hear the name Debo, one face comes to mind. Tommy Tiny Lister. He was the terrifying bully in Friday, the unstoppable Zeus in No Holds Barred, and a Hollywood tough guy like no other. But deep down, Tommy was a big softie.
So we say I like milk and cookies, and I might drink a Corona every once in a while, maybe one or two a year, maybe.
When news hit on December 10, 2020, that Tommy Tiny Lister had passed away at 62, the internet did what it does best. It made Debo trend, and honestly, no shock there. His role as the terrifying neighborhood bully in Friday was so legendary that people still bring up his name whenever they talk about the scariest movie bullies.
Oh!
But here's what a lot of folks forget. Lister has been striking fear into hearts way before Friday. If you're an 80s kid, you probably had nightmares about him long before he was snatching chains. Back in 1989, he squared up against Hulk Hogan in No Holds Barred, playing a ruthless villain that was so intense it spilled over into real WWE matches. Still, no matter how many tough guy roles he played, Friday was the one that stuck. Debo wasn't just a bully, he was the bully. The kind of dude who would steal your bike just because and dare you to say something about it. A thief, a woman beater, and an all-around menace. Lister played him too well. But let's be real, the final showdown with Ice Cube? Chef's kiss.
That's what I'm talking about. That's my dog.
Watching Debo finally get what was coming to him was so satisfying. But believe it or not, the character of Debo wasn't just a work of fiction. It was actually inspired by real-life Rolling 60 Crips leader Big U. And surprisingly, Tommy was a sweetheart when the cameras weren't rolling. And despite playing one of the most feared villains in black cinema, Lister didn't mind being called Debo in real life. He even legally changed his middle name to Debo before he passed. But who was the man behind the scowl? Before he became the larger-than-life bully we all remember, Tommy Tiny Lister was just a kid trying to make sense of the world. Born on June 24, 1958 in Los Angeles and raised in Compton, California, Lister came into this world with a challenge. He was born blind in his right eye due to a detached and deformed retina. And trust, he hated it. As a kid, he struggled with his eye defect and didn't exactly take it well. So sports became his escape. And let's just say he wasn't the guy you wanted to compete against. He was a beast in track and field, especially in the shot put, and his talent earned him a scholarship to California State University, Los Angeles. There he dominated. So much that he became a national shot put champion. His size, strength, and raw athleticism set him apart, laying the foundation for what would eventually make him the perfect fit for both wrestling and Hollywood. But life had a funny way of redirecting him. After college, instead of sticking with sports, Lister found himself drawn to acting. He made his small screen debut in 1984 on the TV series First and 10, and just a year later, he hit the big screen with a role in Runaway Train. Before he was Debo, before he was Hollywood's favorite bad guy, Lister made a name for himself in wrestling. And not just any name. He was Zeus, the terrifying, almost unbeatable opponent of Hulk Hogan in No Holds Barred, WWE's first attempt at a feature film in 1989. Now, let's keep it real. No Holds Barred was a mess. It flopped at the box office, critics roasted it, and WWE's dream of breaking into Hollywood didn't exactly pan out. But Lister ate that role up. Still, he was so intimidating that WWE took things a step further and actually brought Zeus into the ring, turning his on-screen rivalry with Hulk Hogan into a real-life wrestling feud.
And I was benching 575 pounds.
God damn.
I was on that sauce. I was taking that sauce.
Did he have the best wrestling skills? Not at all. Randy Savage basically had to carry him through their tag team matches. But did he look like someone who could destroy Hulk Hogan with one punch? Absolutely. His presence alone was enough to make fans to buy into the hype.
I am going to destroy you!
Years later, even WCW, now WWE, tried to bring Zeus back for another Hogan rivalry, proving that when it came to playing the ultimate tough guy, nobody did it like Lister. But wrestling was just one chapter in his story. Hollywood had already taken notice, and soon he'd land the role that would make him legendary. Now, if you've watched action movies from the 80s and 90s, then you've definitely seen Tommy Tiny Lister. The man was everywhere. He may have started out in wrestling, but he ended up taking Hollywood by storm, becoming the ultimate tough guy. He played a prison bodyguard on Matlock, became the first Klingon to meet humans on Star Trek Enterprise, and even made a hilarious cameo in Austin Powers in Goldmember. Being the bad guy came naturally to Lister. Maybe too naturally. When he wrestled as Zeus in the WWE, fans actually sent him death threats because they hated his character so much.
In real life, I used to get death threats. You paranoid. You come home and somebody's on your answer server. Oh, we're going to kill your butt.
But instead of backing down, he doubled down, turning that intimidating energy into a career that lasted over 30 years. And here's the crazy part. Lister once hated how he looked. He was born blind in one eye and used to wear tinted glasses to hide it. At one point, he was so angry about it, he cursed God. But then he had a change of heart. He took off the glasses, embraced his unique look, and the fans loved it. His eye became part of his signature look, making him even more unforgettable. And if you watch music videos back in the day, you definitely saw him. He was in Sublime Centuria, Akon's So Blue, 50 Cent's Many Men, and the biggest flex of all, Michael Jackson's Remember the Time. That's right, he was in a Michael Jackson video. How we used to talk. Not many people can say that. As if that wasn't enough, Lister's voice made it to the world of animation, too. He played Finnick, the tiny but tough fox in Disney's Zootopia.
You kiss me tomorrow, I'll bite your face off.
The man had range. Despite his success in Hollywood, Tommy wasn't afraid to speak his mind about the industry. In one interview, he boldly claimed that Hollywood didn't like him because he refused to wear dresses. He felt that black actors, especially men, were often expected to fit a certain mold to stay relevant, and he wasn't willing to play along. Whether people agreed with him or not, there's no denying that Tommy stayed true to himself and never compromised his beliefs for a paycheck. In 2012, Tommy's name made the headlines for all the wrong reasons, and this time, it wasn't a movie plot. It was real life. Lister found himself caught up in a massive mortgage fraud case. Prosecutors charged him and 5 others. Yep, including a real estate agent, a mortgage loan officer, a bank manager, an escrow officer, and an accountant, with pulling off a scheme to buy homes he couldn't actually afford. We're talking 4 homes worth $5.7 million. Lister allegedly used fake W-2 forms and phony pay stubs to get approved for loans, then pulled out over $1.1 million in home equity cash. But when the banks came knocking for their money, the loans weren't repaid. That left the banks with huge losses, over $2.6 million. He eventually took a plea deal and was released on bail. But here's something many fans don't know. Lister actually spent 3 years behind bars, and he made his faith known by preaching in there.
Game raps about me, the biggest rappers in the world, but I rap about Jesus.
And when he finally got out, his cousins helped him get back on his feet financially. But more than anything, he found real happiness in spending time with his daughter. In those final months, that meant everything to him. Yes, final months. In December 2020, Lister started feeling sick. At first, it seemed like nothing too serious, But things got bad fast. He couldn't breathe properly. He felt weak. It got so bad that he had to cancel a movie shoot, something he never did. A friend came to check on him after he wasn't answering phone calls. When nobody came to the door, they called the police. When officers got inside, they found Lister unresponsive. At just 62 years old, Tommy Tiny Lister was gone. His manager later confirmed that he'd been experiencing COVID-19 symptoms before his death. It was a heartbreaking end for a man who had left such a huge mark on the entertainment world. Following his passing, tributes poured in from fellow actors and celebrities who had worked with him over the years. His Friday co-star Ice Cube, who Tommy often said was always kind to him, also paid tribute, honoring his legacy and impact. He had a net worth of $100,000 at the time of his death in 2020. Beyond the tough guy roles in Hollywood drama, Tommy Lister had a softer side, one that few people got to see. And that side was reserved for Felicia Forbes, the woman he fell in love with while filming Blast in South Africa. Felicia, a devout Christian, shared her faith with Tommy, who was a member of the West Angeles Church of God in Los Angeles and was very loud about his faith. According to reports, it was love at first sight. They met, hit it off, and before long, they were inseparable. In 2003, they tied the knot in a lavish ceremony at the home of Falk Haroon, a well-known construction developer in South Africa. Their wedding was star-studded, with guests like Samuel L. Jackson, who attended the same church as Tommy. For a while, they seemed like the perfect couple, but as time passed, things started to change. By 2020, the two had separated, though they never officially divorced. Despite their split, they would always be connected through their daughter, Faith Lister, who was born in 2008. She was just 12 years old when her father passed away.